Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Merchant Seaman community where men and women are not alone at sea because the Merchant Seaman community is here for he or she. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about 5 to 8 documents that you need in order to become a Merchant Seaman. So let's get started. Before I get started, can you guys please hit that like button? Please subscribe. Please share this video. Really helps me out, really helps the channel out. So yep, let's get into it. First thing we're going to be talking about is, I'm sure you probably heard of it before, is, TWIC card. All right. So your TWIC card is good for 5 years, and it costs $125. The TWIC card stands for Transportation Workers Identification Credential. Okay, this is, they're gonna do a background check on you, and they want to make sure that you're not a terrorist. They want to make sure that you're not a security risk. They want to make sure that you're a person that's safe to go in and out of ports and onto any vessel safely. Okay. And excuse me if I look away. I'm be looking at my notes here. Okay. Next thing we're going to talk about is, this is trying to get it out of the light, is a medical certificate. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Yeah. So a medical certificate, it's it costs $150, and it's good for 2 years, and it's pretty much proof that you meet the medical and physical requirements of a Coast Guard physical. When you go on a ship, before you even start working, like, the captain, he's going to check all these different documentations, make sure that they're up to date, and yeah, make sure nothing expired, make sure that all your documentations are good before they let you work. If these documentations are expired, or if they're not in good standing, then you're going to have to leave the ship. You're not going to be allowed to work. Okay, so that's the medical certificate. Next, we're going to talk about, the passport. Okay, passport costs $140, and a passport is good for 10 years. Okay, even if you're on a ship that just primarily are in the waters, or primarily it's just in the United States, going maybe up and down the East Coast, up and down the West Coast, wherever, just primarily in the United States, you still need a passport. If that ship gets orders to go overseas, then you're going to have a passport. So next, we're going to talk about drug tests. You're gonna need to have a Coast Guard drug test done. The Coast Guard drug test. Hold on. Well, let me go back. Let me go back to the medical certificate. I forgot something I forgot to mention about the medical certificate. Okay, I said the medical certificate cost around $150. It depends on what state you live in, because what you're going to have to do when you get your merchant seaman or merchant mariner application, it's going to be a form in there, and you need to take that form to your primary care doctor or whatever facility you're going to have perform the Coast Guard physical, and however much they charge you to get it done, then that's going to be the price. But roughly it'll be somewhere around $150. Okay, forgot to mention that. But so back to the drug test. Drug test going to be the same thing, depending on what area you live in. But typically a Coast Guard drug test will be around somewhere around $90. Same thing when you get your merchant seaman application. There'll be a form in there that you can use to take to whatever facility is going to, or a doctor who's going to perform the drug test. Right. Okay, next we're going to talk about the MMC, your Merchant Mariner Credential. This costs $140. It's good for 5 years. This is pretty much a merchant seaman's identification document. You know, it'll have your picture inside of it, your birth date, your height, your weight, yeah, the date it was issued to you. Yeah, so it also has what you're qualified, or what positions you're qualified to work in on board the ship. So yeah, so that's also what the MMC is. Let's see, is there anything else I want to say about MSC? No, that's pretty much it. Costs $140. It's good for 5 years. And like I said, it pretty much has inside of here your ratings. When your ratings are just, you know, like what job positions you're qualified to work on the ship. So let's see what we got so far. Let's do a little recap. So we had number one, we had the TWIC. So that's 1. 2, we had your medical certificate. 3, we had your passport. 4, we talked about having a drug test done. Yeah, you're gonna have to have a drug test done. And 5, we talked about your MMC or Merchant Mariner Credential. Okay. Now, okay, we're going to talk about, so items 6, 7, and 8. Okay, item 6 we're going to talk about is a STCW basic training class. Item 7 is a STCW vessel personnel with designated security duties class. And number 8 would be STCW security awareness with security duties. Okay, so first thing, what does STCW mean? STCW means Standards of Training, Certification, and Watch Keeping. It basically is a minimum qualification or standards for a merchant seaman. Okay. Now, some companies, some programs that you go into, they'll require that you have those 3 classes before you start working for them. But there are a lot of programs or companies that you work for, they do not require you to have any of this STCW classes. They will actually, once you get started with them, they'll actually pay for you to get these classes. So let's see. So let's go with the first class, STCW basic training. This class, if you do have to have it before you start to work for a program or a company, it's an $800 class. And in that class, you go over stuff like lifeboat, water survival, because when you go out to sea, God forbid, if something happens on that ship, you need to know how to put on a life jacket. You need to know how to get to the lifeboat. You need to know how to, if you have any lifeboat duties, you need to know how to perform them. Other things in that class, basic firefighting. When you get on a ship and you're out to sea, if that ship catches on fire, it's not like on land. There's no fire department. You are the fire department. So, you'll learn how to, use fire extinguishers, what fire extinguisher to use for different types of fires. You'll learn, how to put on a fireman's suit, how to put on a SBA. That's a breathing apparatus or respirator that you put on in the case of a fire. So, you probably would learn stuff about CPR. It's one of the other things you might learn. CPR and basic first aid. Same thing when you get out to sea. If someone gets hurt, if you know how to administer CPR or basic first aid, then you can help the person sustain themselves until the ship can get to land, to a medical facility. Then you have a STCW, vessel personnel with designated security duties. This class basically is talking about security. Okay, let's say like if you're at the gangway on a ship, and the gangway is pretty much the stairs or the entrance that you use to get on the ship. That particular class will probably teach you things of how to properly search people's bags, how to check their IDs and write down certain information, and who to notify before you allow them to come on the ship. And the other class, STCW, security awareness with security duties. That's another class about securities, about security. And some of the things in that class you might learn or go over, like if you have a situation where you have a stowaway, then it'll teach you, how to, as a search team, a search party, how to go about searching for a stowaway, what to do if you are the one that finds a stowaway, different things like that. But like I said, pretty much, if you're entering a program or a company, let me say this. For those of you that know what company or program you want to go into, then you should contact them first and ask them what documentations do you need in order to start working for them. Because some of these companies, like I said earlier, they'll pay for you to have this STCW. Some companies may not, and then you may need it. Because some people already know, hey, I want to work for a cruise ship, or I want to work on oil rigs, or a casino boat, or SIU, or MSC. I want to work on a yacht. I want to work on a fishing boat. I want to work on a ferry. So, like I said, for those of you that know where you want to work, then contact them first and see what documentations they need for you to get or have before you start working. Because, like I said, some of these documentations, they might be willing to pay for it for you. Now, for those of you that don't know, like, where you want to go to work, then I would say, at a bare minimum, go ahead and get the 5 things that we talked about in the beginning, because these are pretty much basic things that you would need to have working for any company, really. So, once again, TWIC, medical certificate, drug test, passport, MMC. Yeah, get those basic things, and don't worry anything, or don't pay for any STCW classes. And once again, those classes, if you do, for those of you that do need those classes, once again, those classes are STCW basic training, STCW vessel personnel with designated security duties, and STCW security awareness with security duties. Okay. Yes, there are some fees involved, but you have to understand that, hey, you have to invest in yourself. If you were in college and you had to buy a book for that class, the book would cost, let's say, some college books cost $140, and then that book is only good for that semester for like 4 months. But let's say, like in the case of your MMC, yeah, you're gonna spend $140, but it's good for 5 years. And so don't be discouraged of the fees. Like I said, you have to invest in yourself in order to get into this industry and to make the kind of money you want to make. So I'm gonna wrap up this video. It's a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. Let me see what else I want to mention quickly here. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Once again, please subscribe so you'll get notifications when I put out another video. Stay tuned for the next video, because we're going to be talking about what is an unlicensed merchant seaman and what's a licensed merchant seaman, and then we're going to also be talking about once you get all this documentation, where can you go to start working or looking for work. Okay, guys, be kind to one another. Let's help each other out, and remember, don't wait for your life to change your life. You guys take care. Be blessed.